Well, hello, hello. Good
Hello.
morning.
Good morning.
Hey, everybody.
How are we doing?
Hey, hello? Hello? I know it was a late night.
Oh, yeah. So I want to kick off to talk a bit about the gathering, because there are some new attendees this year. And Ryan, I want to ask you specifically about how the gathering got started and how it's evolved over the past 11 years.
Yeah, it's been a journey for sure. Being here today and every year around this time of year, I do reflect. And when we started it, it was to celebrate cult brands. I'm actually wearing my hoodie today. And cult brands have this capability to get people to buy in rather than just buy. And my business partner, Chris, and I started to study them and research them about 12 years ago. And it was so fascinating to understand them that we thought we could pull the curtain back, and rather than trying to explain it ourselves, put the greatest brands in the world on stage and the leaders behind them so they could explain it. And I like to explain to people when they ask what it is, it's like, who knows, like 60 Minutes or Date Night or a great podcast. The gathering is that, but in real life. And it's cool. This year, I just saw Brian Jennings here. I think he's back there somewhere. He's the marketing lead for the National Hockey League. And Brian, the first year you were here, I think we had 100 people. And it's probably cool for you to see it. I think he's over there somewhere. Hey, buddy. It was a cool flashback to 11 years ago. And if you trust the process, great things can happen. But the most important thing after year one was, or during year one, was we were going to actually use it as a business development tool as our agency, and we just made a rule to not do that. And I think that's the best decision we ever made, was to make these CMOs, CEOs, and founders feel comfortable, that they can come here, feel safe, and open up about their playbook and share it with the rest of us. And so we really focused on connecting, and that's the essence and the magic, the je ne sais quoi of the gathering.
I love it. We've seen the gathering progress over the past few years. I've been a host for 3 years, and I've loved seeing where we've taken the gathering, the amount of attendees that we're seeing, and it's really an incredible place to hear from iconic brands, and I know there's a lot more in store. And Mandy, as the new president, I'm sure you have an exciting vision for where you want to take the gathering. What fresh perspectives are you looking forward to introducing all of us to next year?
Yeah, it's we have so much to share with you. I'm so excited. I think, first of all, stepping into the role of the president, it's a fancy title, but really what it means is to serve. And what I was most excited for this year was to not just build an event, but to build a team, to build a culture, and to build the foundations for this movement and what it can really become. Mm-hmm. I think that Steve Jobs sort of says it best. You can't connect the dots looking forward, you can only connect them back. And I've been a part of this community since the very beginning, and so it's just exciting to step into the role.
Tell me a bit about the vision for 2025, where you want to take the gathering. Is there any specific new tracks that you want to lead the way on?
Me.
I've got a lot. Well, first of all, one of the things that is really exciting to me is, the gathering has been this amazing 3-day event, and it has so much opportunity to become a 365-day community. And I know a lot of you felt that this year. We have so many new faces, and that's because we had a team that was, we were talking to you all year. And I think that those are some of the foundations that are really exciting for the future. The gathering, like you said, it started from a place of, let's show you the playbook from the world's biggest brands. Mm-hmm. This has always been about how do you build a brand and a company and a culture that's built to last. But behind that, behind those businesses, are the leaders that build them. And those there's so many leaders out there that are trying to build an empire on an empty tank.
Right.
And that doesn't work. I've tried it. You deplete yourself. It works in the short term, right? But if you're trying to grind the gears and go, and you're just focused on results and you're not taking care of yourself, or your team isn't thriving, you're not going to thrive for the long term. So what I'm most excited about for our new themes, and you're going to see a little bit on our schedule this year, which is really exciting, is there's something for everybody. It's something to meet you in whatever chapter and whatever season you're in. So we want people to be able to bring their teams and, have that equal amount of learning, and then also have, well-being. It's not just about business, but it's also about how you're filling your cup up.
And can I add to that?
Yeah.
Not just bring their teams, but it's cool. I see a friend of mine, Matt, here with his son. I saw another friend that brought his teenage girl, and I want that for the gathering. I want them to have a leadership experience at a very young age, and so we invite you to bring your families along. And we're working with the city, the town of Banff, to we make about, this is pretty cool. We got this stat. We made a $15 million impact in 4 days here in this town, which is amazing. Give it up. That's all of you spending your hard-earned money in this town, but I dream of the days that it's $100 million impact in a week. And we do that through being more than just branding and marketing and that. We'll never lose our core, but I'm excited to see where we go with that. Maybe you can share a little bit where we're going.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that you're seeing it this year, right? There's leadership, there's culture, there's well-being, there's performance. If you're going to be a high-performing brand, you need to be a high-performing leader. So you're going to see that in our tracks and going forward. It's probably about 20% difference this year. And as we continue to expand and grow, we're excited to, as you can see, we're already busting through this room. It's full this morning, and we've got 3 stages activated here, but it's going to be exciting when we start activating more of Banff and can add new tracks and things like that. We've got a little bit of a vision also in some of the conversations that we're having. We just want to show you what's on the vision for 2025 and the conversations that we're already having. This is an example of some of the brands, some of the leaders, some of the speakers that we're in conversation with now to build the future with in 2025. So
yeah, and so having people like Dana White, who's been here before, having him back, definitely have Jessica Alba. That'd be great. Sorry,
oh, yeah.
She's my celebrity crush. But I think some of these speakers that we're in talks with already, having them here next year will give a different flair to next year's event. And so the shameless plug, we only sell, for economics reasons, we can only sell so many tickets, and we always sell out at the gathering. And so I think there'll be a QR code to get your tickets for next year, but we'll only sell 100 on site. Is that right? 100 on site. And they'll probably be gone today. And it's basically free. That's how it feels for where they go, the tickets go. And so I'm excited for this next year. What are you most excited about when it comes to these new people?
I think just more diversity in conversation. I think that especially over the last couple of years, it's not about separating work and business. It's really about work-life integration, and especially if you're passionate and, in your role, like your work is an expression of who you are. And I think that when we can come to experiences like this and be able to, get ideas and explore what's possible on a new business strategy, and then equally feel like, oh, I got a new morning routine out of it. Like you're going to be more inclined to go for it and make it happen. So I'm excited for that. And then as far as the community building piece and bringing new experiences and new events into this community, we're exploring retreats, and we're exploring other experiences and community events that can get people involved all year. And personally, I've had a lot of amazing experiences over, a 3-day deep dive and things like that. And can you just imagine, after 3 days here, you might walk out of here with just a taste, like a new awareness, a new expansion of what's possible for your brand, for your business, for your team, for your leadership. But then can you imagine taking some of the leaders from our stage and having 20 other people spending a weekend together and deep diving on that? So we're excited. We're looking at locations, like Okanagan or Salt Lake City, and imagine spending the weekend with Yeti. Where's Bill? Yeah, spend the weekend with Yeti, spend the weekend with Pinterest. Just think about some of the world's biggest brands and put them in an intimate setting. So very excited for that.
Yeah, I just want to make it clear. So basically what she's curating is this, but on a smaller level for a very intimate group. And then we'll cherry pick Bill from Yeti or Liz at Barbie, and we'll kind of curate a session for you and the group. And it could be you and your group, or it could be you within a group. And so that's exciting, and that will eventually expand around the world.
Yeah, and I think putting yourself in rooms like that is so important. I think leaders, we carry so much on our shoulders and we think we have to do it all alone. But when you walk into rooms like this and when you intentionally put pause in your calendar and you prioritize it, that is actually what is so important for the integration of your growth and what you're learning. We're moving so fast, there's so much distraction, there's so much, but it's taking the time, the intentional time, to build your community and really invest in yourself.
That sounds incredible. I'm very excited for that.
I'm very nervous. It's a lot, but it's going to be exciting. You have to push yourself forward, and I think that's the theme of this event is you need to make yourself uncomfortable and grow, and growth is often uncomfortable. So, yeah, I'm excited.
I want to talk a bit about the gala, because that is certainly something that a lot of the iconic brands look forward to. It's certainly something that I look forward to every year. How is the gala, for those who are new this year, how is the gala going to add to their experience aside from the day conversations, and why should it be on their absolute must-do list?
Yeah, this year we have MTV coming, and when MTV, when we were talking with them and looking at including them, I talked to Amy about how amazing the gala is, and much like the VMAs or the Grammys, celebrating the greatest brands in the world. The grind of that, maybe, an artist career, maybe 20 years, 15 years if they're lucky. There's obviously some exceptions to that. But a lot of the brands that are built, which we call the Brand Hall of Fame, they take hundreds of years to build. And they're not celebrated, and the stories are incredible. And so we're telling them at the gala, and one of our core values is elevated experiences like this. Why do we spend all this money in the production? Because I want you to feel something. And at the gala, we just want to make it not just a nice dinner and hoity-toity fancy, but something that's meaningful and storytelling. And I look forward to people experiencing that. The other thing about it is we renamed the gala after the late Tony Hsieh, who's a great friend of mine and a great friend of ours, that really influenced. If you don't know who he is, he was the founder of Zappos, billionaire founder that came to the gathering and fell in love with it. And he would always bring his teams up, I think 20 to 30 people on a bus, and he would come here and make the pilgrimage from Vegas to Calgary, and then from Calgary to Banff. And so naming it after him, and his essence is really about, he talked about servant leadership, but the gala is about, he wrote a book called Delivering Happiness, and it has that essence of him. And at the event, we have some of the greatest comedians that MC it, and it's just a wonderful experience. So if you haven't been part of it ever, and you never got an all-access pass, do it next year. Do yourself a favor. And yeah, I think it's one of the coolest moments. And for me, and for Mandy, now on the other side of the curtain, it's also when I feel like I can relax. But I see some people at the back. There's some chairs on this side. There I am doing housekeeping. You can go to that side if you want. But does that answer your question?
Definitely.
Yeah, you've been to it. What do you think of it?
Oh, it's just so great to have the wrap up to the daytime conversations, to hear from some of the brand leaders. You're sitting amongst them, getting to have those conversations during the evening. And it's an opportunity to reflect back on the day, another opportunity to network. And there's a lot that goes on in these 2 days.
And I think eating together is a powerful thing. Right? My family and I try to do that as it has to happen. Mm-hmm. And you just connect with people when you break bread, right? Everyone's felt that before. And another thing that Mandy introduced, we kind of had night gatherings. She's calling them supper clubs now. But they sell out fast, but make sure you go to them. We'll begin to curate those more and more, but sitting with someone and having dinner and talking about things that matter is what the gathering's all about.
Not the weather. Don't talk about
the weather.
Well, that's always the challenge, right? Finding time to network while also being able to see all of the key speakers that you want to see while you're here. Mandy, maybe you can elaborate a bit on how people should consider structuring their schedules over these next 2 days.
Totally. I think curating your schedule, like taking the time to really be intentional and go through it. There's a lot. Yeah. We have a big couple days ahead of you. If you're going to get the recordings after too. So pace yourself and do the gathering your way. Be open to what the day has for you. Definitely hit the sessions, but keep your phone away and be open to the conversations that you're going to have in the hallway. So those are some of the best moments of the gathering. So I think if you're coming here, especially for the first time, really be present. Take it in. Mm-hmm. set an intention. Maybe that intention is to meet 3 new people or to make 3 new connections. Ryan sent a beautiful intention to all of us for this event, is to come here and really step into this room with the spirit of giving. Not what am I here to get, but what am I here to give? And so be mindful of that.
Can I tell a story with that already?
Please.
So maybe half of you got it, maybe all of you got it, but I sent an email last Friday saying I was inspired by some of the principles of Burning Man, and one of them was just come and with generosity and gift exchange, and so I wanted to copy that, and so I asked you all to bring a gift. It could have been a handwritten note, it could be a pin, it could be something special, and share with someone. And a lot of people, I didn't think many people would catch it, but a lot of people have caught that spirit. And a gentleman came up to me and he said, I got your email, and my dad passed 7 or 8 years ago, but he gave me this personal leadership book. I forget what it was called, unfortunately. Forgive me. But, and he said, when I got your email, I looked and it was on the side table, and he wrote in the front of it, to whom it may concern, this book meant this to me. And in the first hour or two of meeting someone here, he'd met someone that lost their dad a couple years ago, and he gave him that book. And so that's the powerful moment of gift exchange. And you never know what your little note, it could be even just a kind word, but please come with that giving spirit.
Yeah, and I do see a lot of conversations happening between some of the people that are here. I always say, if you can, take a moment to introduce yourself to someone behind you, in front of you, for every conversation or every conversation that you're here for, because you never know who you're going to meet. Okay, we've got a lot coming up, and there is so much more to come. Mandy, this is going to be a great day. Yes.
All right, everyone. We're going to have In Q and Gary Vee coming up next, but I think we're
going to take a quick 5-minute break. If you go ahead.
Last thing.
Yes.
I do want to make a special announcement, because I know we haven't even started our event yet for 2024.
Yeah.
But for 2025, I want everyone to see our team at the booth. Make sure that you put this in your calendar. Here's my invitation to put an investment in your personal growth account for 2025. We are doing never been seen before event-only pricing for all access tickets, VIP and Pinnacle passes. We only have 100 available. They're only available at this rate until Sunday. So just saying, make an investment in future you today.
All right. Thanks, everyone.
That's it.